Hi, this is Jake, and I'm going to show you a demonstration of how you can significantly increase profits without increasing advertising or without changing anything with your site, in fact. So I'll show you an example for a pool fencing company, and I'm kind of guessing with some of the figures here. I actually don't know what the actual spend or sales figures may be, but just run with this example with me, and the tool I give you is going to enable you to make those changes so it actually fits your example. So the assumptions I'm making: pool fencing company spending $2,000 on advertising. That advertising is generating 10 sales at an average sales value of $2,500, and the profit after fulfillment is $500. As I say, I don't know whether these are close fit to you or whether they're way off, but what you'll see in a minute is by using this tool, you can identify if there's a profit opportunity. So I created this profit calculator, and it allows us to input those figures I just showed you, and then see how different prices result in more or less profit for the business. So I'll show you what I mean. On the advertising spend, I'm going to put in that $2,000. We said that there was going to be 10 sales generated from that $2,000. Average sale value of $2,500, and a gross margin per sale, so the profit after fulfillment of $500. And then this is populated the form. I've given just three examples here of how this can benefit your business. Obviously, when you increase price, you expect less sales as a result, but that's not a problem. You can actually account for that, and I've done that in this last example, which I'm going to talk through in just a minute. But first, let me show you what we've got. At those figures, you'd generate a revenue of $25,000, gross profit of $5,000, and a net profit after advertising of $3,000. Okay, so that's what we're using as our baseline. Example 1, everything stays the same except the average sale value. So we've increased the average sale value by 10%. Increase the price by 10%. Now that 10% goes straight onto the bottom line because you haven't increased the cost of delivery. So that's $250 extra on the gross margin per sale. And just looking at these figures under here, you can see, the important figure is this net profit. And the net profit is up to $5,500 from the baseline, which is $3,000. So it's quite a significant increase in bottom line profit just by increasing price by 10%. Example 2, this time we've used a 20% increase in average sale value. So you increase your price by 20%, results in $1,000 gross margin. So that's an increase from the baseline of $500. You see here, $500 to $1,000. And you can see that the net profit, assuming everything stays the same and the same number of sales are generated, has increased from 3,000 in the baseline to 8,000. It's a huge change. Now this third example, and I've got another variable here, so these green areas are where you can input the data. I've assumed that charging that 20% increase in price has resulted in half as many people buying. And we're just going to look at what that means for the overall revenue figures. So same advertising spend, $2,000. It's a 20% increase in average sale value, so an increase of 20% in price. This time only 5 people buy, and you can see that the net profit from this example is $3,000. So compared to the baseline, you're making the same profit and only making 5 sales. Now if you have capacity issues, if you've got a fulfillment team and they're only going to be able to deliver a certain amount of sort of pool fencing, then increasing your price and having them do half as many jobs is a benefit to you, especially if you have a surplus of leads. And it's very good positioning if we're able to potentially double your lead volume to implement something like this, because you're not going to have to need to find a new fulfillment team. You can operate at a higher price, deliver essentially the same number of sales but significantly increase your bottom line.